I'm pleased to say joining us tonight, Victoria Toensing, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General for the Criminal Division of the Justice Department, and Joe diGenova, former U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, founding partners of the diGenova and Toensing law firm, and celebrating today their 38th anniversary. And I can't tell you how much we all appreciate you sharing the day with us in the evening. Thanks so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Lou.
Let's start with, well, with the Supreme Court. It didn't look so supreme today, did it, Victoria? Because in a 5-4 decision, ruling that how the Census Bureau could construct questions, what's next? Weights and measures for this court?
And this is what's so great about this president, Lou. That is, what other president of either party would have said, this is against me. Now let me see, how can I put off the census so we can fix it? That's where his brain immediately goes.
Right.
What do we do that we can get it right? And the irony is, and I won't get down in the legal weeds, but there's a case that was upheld by the Supreme Court about giving deference, to agencies, and Roberts went along with that. And now you're not giving deference for a census question, for God's sakes, and talk about inconsistencies. That's John Roberts.
It is John Roberts. And Joe, in the Obamacare, he tortures the word fine somehow into a tax and sustains Obamacare. The man is inventive and an activist, and I can't figure out how he was ever considered a conservative.
Well, what you saw today was pure sophistry. He says that the motive of the Secretary of Commerce was very important. But in Obamacare, he said the motive of the president wasn't important. The fact that the president said it wasn't a tax didn't matter when the Chief Justice says, well, you know what, I think it's a tax. So what you have is inconsistency, but more importantly, sophistry, fundamental intellectual dishonesty. The Chief Justice just wanted to stick his finger in the president's eye. It's demeaning to the court, and it's embarrassing. And he says there's no difference between Democratic and Republican judges. Baloney.
Yeah, the Kavanaugh hearing showed that.
Yeah, unfortunately and dramatically. Let's turn to Robert Mueller, who said that the report of the special counsel would be his testimony. And as has happened too often over the course of the last 2.5 years, Mueller reversed himself and is bogged down, it seems, in partisan politics. Your thoughts about what we can expect on July 17th and why a special counsel is behaving like this. Victoria?
Well, because he doesn't know what he's doing. I think he's really lost it, and Andrew Weissman is running the show. But it's going to have to be Bob Mueller that's sitting there in front of the TV cameras, and he's going to have to get his wits about him, which he sure didn't have when he did that bizarre press conference for, 16 minutes or whatever. Or whatever it was. But boy, I have a lot of questions for him. One of them is, couldn't you find one Republican lawyer to put on that team?
Yeah, and Joe, what do you think? Will this witch hunt ever end? Will Robert Mueller ever go away? Or will he be a perennial guest on late-night television, newscasts, and, of course, House committee hearings?
Well, Jerry Nadler, the mumbler, is going to be questioning Bob Mueller, the cadaver. If you've watched Mueller, he barely functions. His testimony is going to be basically worthless. He may want to answer some of the questions, and he may even try to go beyond the four corners. The real damage is going to be done the next day when they have testimony from Weissman and his aides, which will be done in executive session with unlimited questioning. That's when the damage to the president is going to be done. Bob Mueller is nothing more than a figurehead. This has always been the Weissman investigation, and it will be the Weissman testimony.
But the damage to the president isn't because these guys know something that's damning. It's because Andrew Weissman makes stuff up.
They're going to lie.
He just creates crimes out of whole cloth.
They're just going to lie.
So
both he and Mueller have an established record of doing precisely the same thing.
Exactly.
And Weissman, participating in the destruction of 85,000 jobs at Arthur Andersen without either conscience or, by the way, law as a basis for his action. It's stunning stuff. Victoria, it's always great to see you. We thank you very much. Joe, thank you, sir.
You bet.
And happy anniversary, guys. And
Now for the champagne, Lou.
oh, I like that part. I like that part. Have a great evening. Thanks so much.
Thanks.